I think Olight got a little confused. On one of these, they went smaller, and then on the other one, they went bigger. So these are two brand new flashlights from Olight, the Warrior Nano and the Arkfeld Pro. And honestly, these could be some of the best flashlights that Olight has ever made. First up is going to be the Warrior Nano. Now this is probably the most requested feature set of any Olight, like maybe ever. I have seen a bunch of comments on my videos as well as a bunch listed on Olight's fan page demanding a smaller version of the Warrior Mini, or basically just a small tail switch enabled flashlight. And this is exactly what they were looking for. I think that what they were really looking for was a tail switch version of this. But if you really think about it, this doesn't make that much sense. It's just too short. You kind of end up having the light kind of hidden in your palm. Whereas this light perfectly extends my four fingers, and I have standard large gloved hands. So I think that they pretty much nailed it as far as what they were going for. The only question is, when would you carry this over this? Now, in the pocket, they carry identically because they are literally the same light. In fact, because someone's going to ask, can you switch them around? The answer is absolutely you can. So in theory, you can mix and match colors, which is kind of cool. But yeah, you can absolutely mix and match these lights. However, this is worth noting, doing this is not going to give you 1700 lumens. So it is regulated output. So in order to get the 1700 lumens, you have to use the proper head in order to do so. So the Warrior Mini 3 is going to give you 1700, which is quite a bit brighter than the 1200 lumens that is available on the Warrior Nano. Now, speaking of output, so 1200 lumens is also the same output that you will get on the Baton 3, except that there is a higher beam concentration on the Nano than there is on the Baton 3. So just because they have the same lumen count does not mean they are technically the same brightness. That's kind of complicated. Just trust me when I say that this is actually a brighter flashlight than the Baton 3 Pro. Oh, sorry, the Baton 3. I like this light quite a bit. I think it's a really nice addition to their lineup. The only thing for me is, now that I have gotten so used to carrying the Warrior Mini 3, I don't see a reason why I would swap having this already. Let me know though, maybe I don't quite visualize how one would be better than the other. The other thing that is worth noting is that in the Warrior Mini 3, there is a sensor. So what happens is if you get too close to something, it will automatically downgrade to the 300 lumen output, which means it can't burn whatever it's touching, and will eventually turn off in a short period of time if that happens. The Warrior Nano does not have that. So if you get close, it will stay on at the maximum output. That may be good or bad depending on how you look at it. So just keep that in mind as well. Still, I would say that this is, well, one of the better flashlights that they have made in recent memory, and is certainly worth checking out. If you never could bring yourself to carry this, you like this, but you want something a little bit more, that's kind of what you get with the Warrior Nano. Next we have the Arkfeld Pro. Now I've been carrying this basically every other day along with the Nano. And honestly, what was surprising is I know and I can tell that this light is a lot bigger. You can see it. Like, it's longer and it's slightly wider in this dimension. But as it carries, it really wasn't much different. And that surprises me because this is one of the easiest flashlights to carry, truly. The UV version of this with the slim profile, it basically disappears in the pocket. And this, it's not quite as invisible, but certainly very close. And I didn't expect that considering just how big the light is. And in fact, it's actually a little bit longer than the Warrior Mini 3, although quite a bit slimmer. And it is because of this thickness that it really, really shines. I mean, to put this in perspective, that's not much. In fact, it's actually narrower than the i1R2 Pro. Like, to give you an idea just how thick it is at its thickest point. This is a very, very comfortable flashlight to carry. And this actually has a reversible pocket clip. So it kind of has all the things you want, and they have upgraded the output. So we have 1300 lumens max output here. And longer run times on top of everything else. In fact, they basically just have higher outputs with the same run times. So basically you're getting a little bit more. Now, notice here, there's actually 3 different selectors. You have UV, laser, and the white light. Whereas in the older generations, or the smaller variations, you have either the laser and the white, or you have UV and the white. And what's weird is I find that there's a good purpose for each of these 3 lights. Being that it only has 1 clip, this is like the perfect office light. Like you give it to someone, and I did, who uses it in an office setting so that they can do presentations. It just looks really elegant, and realistically, they're not going to be putting it on their hat, right? So it just makes sense. It's a good inspection light. It looks really clean. Highly, highly recommended for that kind of style. Now, the Arkfeld UV, kind of a very versatile light in general, but the fact that it has a reversible clip might make it more useful for someone who potentially is hunting, where they need that UV light, or there's a couple other purposes as well I don't want to go into. But yes, the UV light has some functionality, and I like that they have a reversible clip with it, and it's a little bit slimmer. This just kind of combines both, right? You get all of the things. And there's a couple of hidden features that I discovered by accident that are worth noting. So first of all, something to just be made aware of, if you are in the UV light, which you can tell here is actually brighter than the one that was in the past generation. In fact, all of these are brighter. You can swap through and go from laser to UV. But if you want to go straight from UV to white, you just switch it quickly, and it will actually skip the laser. So that may matter to someone who is worried that the laser might bounce off of something and come back at them. So just keep in mind that that is an option, and you can swap between those very quickly, and then you won't have an issue. That's the first thing. The second one has to do with using the laser. And check out how bright this is. It is so much brighter than the original. It's crazy. So clearly some advantages to having a larger battery. If you have this on, you can double press and you can bring on the light in addition to the laser. That is a sweet feature, which means that you can actually show people what's around the object at a distance that you're actually looking at. And I think that being able to do both at the same time is a really nice little touch. They definitely thought of a lot of different things with this light. They did make it bigger, so it's not quite as comfortable to carry as the originals, but they filled it up with very useful features and basically gave you 2 flashlights in one, while also making them brighter and better at each of the individual tasks. Yeah, this is absolutely one of the best flashlights that Olight currently makes. There's no question. And if you want one, by the way, guess what? We are giving one away. Giving one away in this video. If you made it this far, you are going to be able to get one of these potentially for free. So all you have to do is fill out the Google form that is linked down in the description and the pinned comment. And if you've been around here, you know the drill. Basically, just fill it out. And once I select a winner, which I will announce on the community section, you will get an email directly from Olight. I will then pass off just the winner's email, to the Olight team, and they will send one directly from their facility. So you'll be getting a black version of this, and I think you're gonna love it. This is actually one of my favorite lights that they have ever made. And it's a Swiss Army knife. It's the Swiss Army knife of flashlights, and they've done a fantastic job. All 3 of these, IPX7, so all waterproof, and probably along with now the Warrior Mini 3, the Baton 3, and where am I looking? And the Nano. These 4 lights are probably my favorite examples that basically make the magnetic charging system look really good. Like, these are all good reasons to get a flashlight with the proprietary charging system, because they could not exist without it. So just keep that in mind. But definitely all of these are worth taking a look at. And yeah, enter that giveaway, guys, if you want to have your own Arkfeld Pro. As always, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk again soon.